Alright, one restore later, and we're back to the hub level of the sequel contest. Today's entry is Piteous, the sequel to Pitiful by Ameth. So, Piteous, or Pitiful rather, is an incredibly long hold with lots of pits in it. And this is my entry. Level 1, the Gatehouse. Beethro prepared to enter the Piteous. The first thing he saw was a giant gatehouse. Back to hub. So this was an interesting thing to build because it kind of went against a lot of my own architectural philosophy. Basically, I took sequel to mean remake Pitiful, but using Journey to Rooted Hold elements. So that's sort of what this thing is. In particular, I copied the aesthetic of 3 of the levels from Pitiful, and well, I also made some questionable design decisions along the way. So let's just get started. Okay, we've got our first room here. 4 potions, 4 groups of enemies. The only really tricky thing here, along with the Wraithwing, I mean, there's the Wraithwing. There's the Wraithwing, which is brained, which is always fun. So let's kill the brain. Yay, now we have unbrained Wraithwing. Whoops. Now we can catch it on the potion. So that's one of the tricks to this room. The other one is that the decoy obviously can't move, it only makes a single stab, which means we need Mimic here, and Decoy for the Serpent. It can be a little bit tricky to set up the Serpent in a way, or the Rattlesnake rather, in a way that's actually going to deal with it properly, but there is a way to do it. I think we want to wait. We're just going to put it here facing this way, and then that should be guaranteed to not get the serpent stuck, because that's the issue. If you make any dead ends here, you can end up with a stuck serpent. But we solved that, no problem. Yeah, so the contest entry rules were 15 puzzle rooms, but connecting rooms were okay, so I sort of took liberty with that, because I was trying to make this feel way bigger than it really needed to be, which again was sort of in keeping with the original. Now in the original, all of these rooms would have like a fairly trivial puzzle in them, although from time to time you'd stumble across a puzzle that was actually somewhat difficult. And that's kind of the weird thing about Pitiful. There were like 300 rooms, and there were some genuinely good rooms in there, but there was a lot of filler as well. So that's my excuse for being lazy with some of the rooms. So I, to be honest, didn't actually try that hard when I was architecting this. Although not trying hard was surprisingly hard on its own. But anyway, this room. This is a golem on trapdoor problem. You have to start from here because you need to be able to exit. And then it's just a matter of somehow getting all of these getting all the golems out. But you have enough space to work with, I think. It's not too bad. And yeah, so again, I was saying Journey to Rooted Hold elements. We've got the decoys and the rattlesnake there. This is golems, of course, was Journey to Rooted Hold. This is going to be guards, bombs, and seep, which we can enter from here. This is one of the harder rooms in the level. That's just something that happens with pseudo-horde rooms like this. We don't want to do that. We want to... How do we do this without... Yeah, just a lot of waiting. As I was saying, horde rooms can be a little bit tricky sometimes, just because depending on how good you are at fighting a certain enemy, you're going to have certain issues. This I don't think was too bad. This is fairly reasonable. But there's certainly a way to make a difficult room with minimal effort is to throw a whole bunch of enemies into it, depending on, of course, the room architecture and other constraints. So the actual puzzle now is that we need to use this last guard to hit the orb because of these bombs. Now, to get the guard to do that, we're going to have to cut off... I guess we'll go around. We're going to have to cut off the path to the guard. We'll come around like that. We'll get him back out. And room solved. The same. Slayer was, of course, I'm using 39th Slayer because regular Slayers were not a thing in Journey to Rooted Hold. This is just a filler room. Like, this doesn't even count as a puzzle room, so I don't count it towards the 15 limit. And the Wubba, of course. Now this is going to be a little bit interesting because during testing I have always solved it from this entrance, so I was just curious to see what would happen if I took the other route. So yeah, I don't imagine this is going to be terribly difficult, but it is something to... something to consider. Yeah, okay. Yeah, easy room. Don't know what the point of that checkpoint is, but yeah, it's there. Okay, so that is the floor clear, but of course you have to explore everything. So let's get back. And I actually only had 4 puzzle rooms on each floor. So that's something, I guess. I'm curious to see what people think of this entry, actually. Did it feel really long? Which was sort of what I was trying to do. Keeping in mind that I still had 3 more rooms to work with. Well, I guess 2 more, because I do include a secret room as well. But I could have made this bigger. Long scroll. This... Okay, to be fair, I've been playing a lot of Architect's Edition at Era Holds, and this kind of thing happened where they just had these annoying scrolls. I don't think I could really... Pitiful... It was a while ago, and it was a really long hold. It's kind of all running together, so I'm not entirely sure if Pitiful is that's a fair indictment of the whole Pitiful itself. There is a sequel to Pitiful, original by Amef, but that is what it is. The Maze of Cold Shoulders. Beethro went down the stairs to find a maze. Which way should he go? Right, now this level. We have our obligatory health reference. I think I actually do use every single Journey to Rooted Hold element at some point in the hold. But yeah, this level, this is probably where the most questionable design decisions come from. Because this is a maze, and it is in fact possible to get stuck and have to restore. And there's one room in particular that I'm actually not happy with. A lot of the forced restore was okay, in my mind, given what I was doing. Also, I should probably point out that thinking about it, I don't think this was actually an issue with Pitiful itself, but it was an issue with other Architect Edition holds. So again, probably not fair of me to include it. In the entry, but I did. Which is to say, I might be making Pitiful look worse than it actually is. Okay, so this actually I'm not counting as a puzzle room, which again, my count might be sketchy on a lot of these things. But anyway, let's get the webbas out of the way. I don't actually remember how to do this. It's just kind of a mess of turn order. But yeah, I probably didn't want to do what I just did there. I almost certainly didn't want to do any of this. In fact, I'm going to start over. Okay, I think what we're going to do is we're going to get some of you out of the way. Ah! There's one too many. I can't... Again, we're just gonna... get you all down there. There we go. No, no, that's not going to work. It's still not going to work. Ah. Okay, I got around you. I'm not going to be able to get around you again, though. I swear, this actually didn't give me any trouble at all during testing, so... what am I doing wrong here? Okay, let's just get you all... Nope, again, it's too many. I'm just going to be stuck here for the entire Let's Play. This, I don't really want to do that, but I have a choice. I would like... If the turn order had been different, that would have worked. Wow. So I'm just trying different sequences now. There we go. Right, I don't count that as a puzzle room, which obviously I should have, because it's given me more trouble than a lot of the others. Likewise, here I don't count this one either, because there's no high score for it. There we go. And I don't count this one either. So I probably am breaking the contest rules pretty badly here. Yeah, get up to drop the targets. Might be the only targets in the entire hold, come to think of it. Okay, let's just check behind the red door. Good thing those red doors are right at the edges of the rooms. Yeah. So that was a change I made when testing this. I actually originally had the red doors. I can't remember if it was here. It's somewhere off to the side for this room and also for this room down here, which meant that you were forced to go this way, which would force you to redo the wubbas, I think. Maybe it didn't. I don't know. So this room, the main trick here is that mud mothers will spawn if they see the decoy. So, alright, proof of concept. I'm invisible, but they can see the decoy. So that's something to work on, or to be aware of. So I'm just going to wait. Now, I actually did have a lot of fun trying to optimize this room during my practice runs of my hold, but I'm not going to give away my secrets there. I'm just going to take it slow for the sake of this. So, yeah. But suffice to say, this is actually a fairly satisfying room to do quickly. So we've got the red door, and if you come out... I guess if you come out this way, you can just run around again. So actually it wouldn't have been that big a deal, provided you didn't cross these. Alright, and that is the end of the level. Now this was... So when I say questionable design decisions, there are kind of two things. On the one hand, it is possible to get stuck on this level and be forced to restore. We haven't gotten to that part yet. But on the other hand, I included shortcuts like this to make life easier once I've completed the level. Because there were, I'm pretty sure, some levels in Pitiful where you actually just had to basically redo the entire level, like run through the entire level again if you did the maze in the wrong order. Okay. Down here. Got a seep and trapdoor room. That shouldn't be too bad. I'm not sure if I should be talking through my process, but basically there's only really one way to go for this part. Now, here you do actually have to stand in place because you need to be able to clear this tile. Again, just your typical trapdoor puzzle strategies. Make sure you're clearing everything. Okay, here does it matter how I do this? I don't think it really does. I'll just do... something like that. I might as well clear this. In fact, I think I have to clear this one here, because otherwise... Yeah, I'm going to come up, I can clear this, come up here, clear this, and then I'm stuck here. Yeah, so I have to clear the big one the hard way. But that should do it. If you haven't cleared the previous room, you need to restore. Okay, so here's the first point. This isn't actually something that I thought of when I was designing this. I just kind of had a little overlook here. But then while doing testing, I came out here and realized, or I think I placed myself there in the editor and came in here and then realized I actually couldn't do anything. But yeah, testing is important. Although that is something I could have easily missed. That being said, this was a pretty lazy solution. Just, oh, by the way, you failed because you didn't. Like, I could have, extended this down by 1 maybe, and that would have been a cleaner way of doing that. And I think if I had spent more time on this entry, I would have done a lot of things more cleanly on this level. But still, I don't feel that that particular forced restore is too egregious. That comes later. Hello, Slayer. Don't worry, you'll be used in a puzzle eventually. This room. Now, this room is surprisingly tricky. Obviously, you have to start from here, because you have to drop all the trapdoors. And you have to get 2 golems to stay within this area. Obstacle also, I believe, was added in Journey to Rooted Hold, so I made sure to use that in a puzzle. Okay. So, how am I going to do this? I can get you... I think actually I'm just going to tuck you in right here. I think that makes the most sense. Gives me the most control here. Now, we'll get one of you hung up on the bomb. If I wait, you're both going to come down. I don't want that, so we'll have you come down, and you can get hung up on those skulls there. I think I fell for the trap. Yeah, what am I going to do with you now? I totally fell for the trap. Okay, right, we'll put you down here. Oh, no. Because we need you stuck on the bomb. We got you down here, okay. Yeah, see now I can go north and get you stuck on those skulls, and that'll be fine. So, I mean, that's really the big trick of this whole room, is to get this golem into this region here. So wait, get you up. Hugh, I'm actually going to trap you on the top of the little chamber, because then I can get you stuck on the skulls on the way down. And then the final little trick here is to get you stuck there, because you're still within bomb range. And there we go. Yeah, so as far as the rooms, I could claim this as being an homage to the original as opposed to just me being a lazy architect. But this is one of the rooms that I actually feel is good in this hold. It's a nice, simple little concept, but it's actually requires some thinking, and it's a lot more clever than it really looks like it should be. And it's kind of accidental clever, which I kind of feel like is what Pitiful would occasionally fall into. Alright, Slayer, you're going to help me out a little bit here. Let's go. There we go, thank you. But yeah, that's definitely my favorite room on the level. Okay, here we just have a silly half and door puzzle.
Got it.
No real choice. So here we can hit this, which will toggle that. That'll be fine. If we hit this one, you'll use this, which will close that. If we hit this one, you'll toggle that, which will toggle these, but not hit that. So, I mean, it's pretty easy. That does involve paying attention to the connections of things. You are trapped. There is no way out. Oh no. And indeed, it is a forced restore. So let's let my encoder complain about that. Now, I very deliberately put a checkpoint on the trapdoor so that you're guaranteed to have a restore point that will have no lost progress, effectively. So as far as forced restores go, I think that's okay, but this was just me, honestly, this was just me not having any idea what I was doing. It's like, try to make a hold that's sort of annoying but not too terrible. I'm not really sure. But that's not the worst of the forced restores. The worst of the forced restores is this room. If you kill this guard and leave, you are forced to restore. It says be careful here. So if I leave this room now, I'm forced to restore because I need to actually explore that room in order to get level clear. This is just a hole on the right that I put in to annoy people. There's nothing there. Just a hole in the minimap. It annoys me too, but because I'm the architect, somehow it's okay. But anyway, we're going to do the, oops, can we... What have I done wrong? I've done all kinds of things wrong here. Alright. Come on. There we go. Oh. There we go. That'll get you in the right line. Okay. Yeah, because guard, ortho pathfinding. Now, you can wait on this door and kill the guard when you're on the other side. And again, I have the checkpoints set up to force you to cross them if you do that, because you really don't want to do that. So then we come down here. You are trapped. There's no way out. But that's not actually true anymore. Because if we left that guard alive... we have a pretty trivial clear from that side. And the final room of the level. Blue door is down.
Door.
Got it.
Help us out, Half.
Help.
Going.
Help. Hurry.
Going as fast as I can.
Something I actually just want to point out here. The reason I added these in after, because I tried doing just these, but if you use these doors, I'm not sure how Halp decides, but if you hit this one, he'll hit this orb. If you hit this one, he also hits this orb. These two I think were fine. He hit the right orb for both of those passes. But for both of these passes, he would just hit the same orb. So again, testing was very important, because I didn't realize that was the case, and then I kind of just added these to make it a little bit easier and fix my problem. Okay, so that is the Maze of Cold Shoulders. Level 3, the Gatehouse. Now this was kind of a callback to the original Pitiful hold as well, because you started at the Gatehouse and then you ended at the Gatehouse, and it was just kind of weird. So, as far as I remember anyway, so that's why I decided to do that. After crossing the maze, Bithro finally made it to the Gatehouse. He almost made it to the Piteous. This is something else I remember from the original, was that it seemed to me that it was implied that after completing the last level, you finally made it to the Pitiful. It's like you weren't even in the Pitiful the whole time. So I'm not sure, but that's kind of what I did. This one, I'm copying the aesthetic of another level, probably my favorite aesthetic from the entire set from the original game. And as promised, we have Slayer as a puzzle element. In this case, this is just a very convoluted way of having a sister room clear gate. Like, this entire thing could have just been an open green door, but that didn't exist in Rooted Hold. So I thought it was kind of fun to use a Slayer and build a mechanism that sort of mimicked that. But for now, Brain Goblins. Also, I'm aware that this is half an hour, so it's probably going to be like a 45-minute episode, but I figured I'll just get the whole thing done in one go, because this should be pretty fast. This level. Okay. Yes. Kill the goblins. Right, brain goblins do weird things. But that's okay. I wait here? Yeah, you're gonna move that way, of course you are. Of course, I can't actually kill you because I'm gonna be killed. How do I deal with this? Man, okay, let's just get you... Yeah, there we go. Let's just get you guys over here. I did test my own level, I swear. I'm just having trouble with DROD right now for some reason. This is just kind of a joke I had set up here. You got the traditional lead the goblin to the serpent den, but in this case the serpent is a rattlesnake. We do want to do that actually, because we stab the rattlesnake one, and that lets us do that. And goblin is no longer a problem. Now we do have to... the reason that I'm doing this, right, I should probably explain that. If you just kill the goblin and then kill the rattlesnake and kill the brain, you know what, I have a checkpoint. Why don't I just demonstrate this instead of talking about it? Can't get past Mr. Slayer here. So this is the Sister Green Gate thing that I set up. I did spend quite a bit of time trying different sword orientations and, extending this hallway a bit because it was actually possible to cheat out the Slayer before. But anyway, we're not going to do any of that. We're going to... There we go. Keep the goblin alive. So that we don't have to deal with Mr. Slayer. Because now... Oh, that's going to get us killed, isn't it? No, it's not. This is something that came up. So it is possible to manipulate this so that the Slayer's not going to be in a killing move right away. But something I discovered while designing this room, actually, was that doors drop at the end of the room. So I'm actually safe in this position. I kill the thing, the Slayer takes his turn, and waits, and then the doors open. But that wasn't required for that room, that was just something I discovered, and again, I guess it's pretty easy to stumble upon that interaction there. Alright, probably the hardest room in terms of manipulation, I would say, in my entire entry. Although that being said, I did deliberately... I don't actually enjoy serpent manipulation a lot of the time. I find it kind of tedious or finicky. One serpent type enemy at a time is okay, but I actually deliberately extended these and shaped this in such a way that it just kind of naturally works for what it needs to do, which I'll explain as we go here. So, hitting either orb opens both doors. Roaches, if they get stuck on these arrows, you cannot kill them because you cannot go through because of the bombs. So you need the rattlesnake to provide a barrier. However, rattlesnakes can go onto the arrows. So you need to time this so that the rattlesnake gets through on a good interval. Now, I'm just gonna do that, I guess, and hope that it works, rather than time it. Where are we? Horizontal, vertical. So we have 3 more. Vertical, 3, horizontal, 1, 2. On horizontal, you'll still go here. As long as the roach is blocking at this point, you'll go south. Then vertical, 1, 2, 3, 4. You'll pass this as well. Okay. So now it's just a matter of hitting this on the right timing. You are 4, 2, 3. Roaches move first. So roach is here, serpent is here, roach moves here. No, one more. Roach moves, serpent moves, rattlesnake. Roach moves, snake moves. There we go. Now you, I actually need to wait here, because if I move north again, you get stuck on the arrow. So we're going to wait. 1, 2. And I think we actually have to also wait for you, don't we? Because if we don't, how's this going to work? You're going to move south twice. Are you going to move this way? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and then it'll be a horizontal. No, because you'll prefer that move. Okay, so if I move north now, it should be okay. As long as I'm not in the same row as you. Yeah, you'll go south, and then you'll come back out. And you're horizontal, so you're not going to go on here. This room, like I said, the timing just happens to work out if you do it quickly. And I deliberately designed the room for that. But this could be really, really annoying to actually do, to get the timing right like this. Now, as far as getting the serpent to move to the east, I did experiment a whole bunch, and I think it's pretty consistent that it's going to be on this timing, but I'm also really bad at serpents. There might be a way that a more clever person could force it into the wrong timing. But a more clever person could also probably account for that and correct it. So, anyway, stand here. We're going to let you come across. Now it's just a matter of doing the killings of the things. Also, I decided this was going to be the goblin level for some reason. Secret! This is an homage to something rather silly. So, Pitiful, as far as I know, and I think Dragonfogel has confirmed this, is the only hold in all of DROD that uses the mechanism where you have a 2x2 tar blob and you have a 2-length serpent in that area, and you need to kill the serpent with the expanding tar. Now this is sort of the same kind of gimmick, except in this case we're going to place a decoy here to kill the rattlesnake. However, this is actually set up deliberately so that as long as you never step in this column or this row, this is just going to constantly cycle like this, and it will end up in the right position. So if you don't interact with the rattlesnake at all, then you won't have any problems here. Okay, we killed everything. And now it's time for some mud clearing. Now, this part, again, like this is a lot easier if you go for this potion, and you need this potion, by the way, to actually get in here, because you need to cut one of the mud spots. So this is a lot easier if you do that in advance and then recalibrate the rattlesnake, I guess. Or you can just wait this out until this is grown all the way and just killing all the hordes. But if you're efficient enough, you can make progress here. Oops, let's be efficient. Am I being efficient enough with this? I don't know. Hard to tell if I'm actually making progress. But this is kind of a fun little challenge, I guess, to to try to clear it. Oh, whoops, that was okay. This is not a good run. And now I'm back to where I started. Yeah. Okay, but this was good. Yeah, just kind of... Ah, he chased me out. But yeah, and as you can see, the rattlesnake has already been caught, so... This is kind of a moot point. I could just be using a decoy potion at this point. Oops, let's not do that. Alright, that's been dealt with. Making that cut allows you to cut in like this. Also, if you do this earlier, like I said, it distracts a whole bunch of these mud babies, so you don't have to deal with them while clearing this. Let's just put you like that. Hitting this orb deals with you.
Clear.
And unnecessary potion for symmetry. I feel this is definitely the hardest room in the hold. Hence it being a secret. But we're not done yet. We have to come up here. We're just gonna have to... Well, I guess we don't have to kill the goblin. But to drop all the red gates and get in here, we have to do that. Snakes can't get you here. Yeah, so you got a brain. This is how this one starts. So basically we just wait until the serpents are dead, and then the guard's eventually going to release 2 rattlesnakes. Which will cause us trouble eventually. But you can just kind of maneuver around and deal with them, and yeah, no problem really. I don't have a whole lot to say about that. It was just snake chaos that just kind of works itself out. Alright, last room. The implication here is that you're supposed to use the goblin to kill the serpent. I think the rattlesnake does the job just fine though. The main thing is we need to kill this. We need to kill this brain. This is not ideal. go. Hold on. Can't I... Just do that. Oh, there we go. That worked out nicely. I've never killed the serpent that way before, I must say. Let's get you going north. Usually I get it killed up here or down here. That just happened to work out nicely. Brain's your friend sometimes, I guess.
Clear.
Alright, room clear. And that's the end of the hold. Uther did it. He finally made it to the Piteous. And that's the end of that. So yeah, that was my entry. Again, I'm very curious to see what people are going to think about it. I do think the maze section was a little bit questionable, but the third level in particular, I'm actually quite proud of. I think that rooms in that level are decent. And there's a couple of good rooms. Like there's the one room in the maze that I really liked, and yeah, it's just kind of a mix of, it's just a random mix of stuff. Some of it's good, some of it's not. Kind of like the original. That's kind of what I was going for. That's my excuse, my story, and I'm sticking to it. Anyway, Voyage to Cheeseland by Trek to a sequel to Trek to Nowhere by Garlinus. Graphics and assets from the original used with Garlinus's permission. Contains a non-required bonus level. Oh boy. This is where we're starting next time. I did do the preview of Trek to Nowhere where I installed the gorgeous custom tile set, so I'm hoping that when they say graphics and assets from original used with permission, I'm hoping that's what they're referring to, is that the custom tile set is going to make an appearance again in this entry. But I guess we'll find out next time. I will see you for that.